I visited family in England a few years ago, and someone showed me the new European calendar. In the British Isles now, we have Sunday as the seventh day of the week, replacing the day of rest known as the Sabbath. In Genesis, the days of the week weren't given names, like the pagan names of Moon Day, Thu's Day, Thor for thunder, Woden's Day. They were just counted off as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on the last day of the week, it was called the day of rest or the Sabbath day. Well, with the Julian calendar, the Gregorian calendar, I guess they didn't get it right the first time, so they've changed it now all over Europe that they've made Sunday the seventh day. This was done to cause more confusion for those who realize that the Sabbath day is God's day of rest, and it's still God's day of rest, and that won't be changed by God. But it has been changed by a certain church. You may wonder why the Jews were persecuted so severely down through history and in World War II especially. That is because they kept the seventh day Sabbath. There is a being who wants to completely do away with worshiping direct line of worship with God the Father and Son Jesus Christ on the seventh day of the week. We know that Jesus Christ and the apostles did not change the Sabbath day to Sunday. The New Testament shows around 58 different times where they were keeping the Sabbath, and they continued to keep the Sabbath and taught the Church of God to keep the Sabbath day holy. It wasn't just for one of Israel's family, Judah, it was for all of Israel who are now settled in the western part of Europe and in the British Isles and in Canada and Australia and in Ireland and in the US. The British American people, Canadians, those of the Empire, are just like the original Israelites who made a deal with God that he would bless them, give them everything that they needed, the British Empire and the United States of America, that they would obey his laws. And unfortunately, we have been tricked out of that by a great false church understanding any of this, including doing away with his Sabbath day and his holy days. So our time is up, virtually. We have had our 6,000 years, and all kinds of false religions have been allowed to be preached, and their time is up. With Christ's return, these great churches who assumed every pagan custom and rolled it up into what is known as false Christianity, the entire world and the entire Christian world would be deceived. And we are deceived. And we're keeping the Roman calendar. We're keeping all of the celebrations in the Roman calendar, and we are not keeping God's calendar. And so we will have to go back to that, and those who want to go back to that now can do that now. You can go to American Britain's Future and click in the reference section, go to page 2 and read God's Holy Days, and on page 6 there's an entire library page there to begin now keeping God's Sabbath day, which is a sign between you and God that you are willing to obey his laws, to keep his Sabbaths, to keep his annual feast days, and to be protected from World War III that is soon to come upon us.